Right now at 10 o'clock, last politicos standing, Senator Bernie Sanders and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton debating at the University of New Hampshire.
Brazil has not discussed the possibility of canceling the Summer Olympics in Rio because of the Zika virus. Brazil's sports minister says the Brazilian government is fully committed to the games that kick off August 5th.
Maurice White, co-founder and leader of the groundbreaking ensemble Earth, Wind & Fire, died today at his Los Angeles home. Earth, Wind & Fire borrowed elements from funk, soul, gospel, and pop for a distinctive sound that yielded 6 double platinum albums and 6 Grammy Awards. Maurice White was 74.
WPTZ News Channel 5 at 10 on the Valley CW starts now.
Hey, we're going to get to all your top stories in just a moment. Good evening, everyone. I'm Stephanie Curran.
And I'm George Mallet. It's a little cooler out there tonight, but still pretty warm for the middle of February.
Well, you got that right, and it feels kind of even though it's unseasonably warm still, because it had been so darn warm around here.
We've been ruined, folks.
Pretty much. 3 record high temperatures this week. Check this out. We're going to take you back to Monday first. 53 degrees that day, the old record 50, and that's Monday. Wednesday, that's yesterday, 54, the old record 49. We broke a record today, but it was just after midnight. It was 22 hours ago when we saw 54 degrees. Well, current temperatures, we're in the 30s, top to bottom, left to right. We'll call it mid-30s right in the Champlain Valley. So what happens now? Does it get super freezing cold? Well, not exactly, but we'll bring you up to speed. First alert weather. It's on the way for you.
Well, the Zika virus is now officially a public health emergency in Florida, where at least 9 cases have been detected. A state of emergency in play now in 5 counties.
The University of Vermont will be helping in the fight against the rapidly spreading Zika virus. WPTZ's Rachel Kars has been talking to officials tonight. She's live in the newsroom with all the new details for us. Rachel.
George and Steph, the World Health Organization declared the Zika virus a global health emergency on Monday. Today, UVM announced they are teaming up with other researchers to work on a vaccine.
Development is underway.
Scientists are in the early stages of developing a vaccine to fight the Zika virus. Primarily transmitted by mosquitoes, the virus has turned up in 24 countries. Now, the University of Vermont Vaccine Testing Center is joining the fight.
Our role here at the University of Vermont Medical Center will be to do the clinical trials to see whether the vaccine is safe and effective, and to do the clinical immunology studies here in the Vaccine Testing Center in the lab.
UVM's Dr. Kristen Pierce is working with researchers from Johns Hopkins University, that research funded by the National Institutes of Health. Researchers will test the safety and immune response of the vaccine in humans.
Seeing whether or not the vaccine is safe and effective is actually giving it to volunteers, healthy subjects. The immunology work is all done in the lab.
Working on vaccines since 2009, UVM played a critical role in creating both the West Nile and dengue vaccines. The team relies on volunteers from the greater Burlington area to test the new antiserums.
It's really amazing. The Burlington community has a huge sense of sort of global importance in being part of this global community. And we have a huge outpouring of volunteers from all walks of life in the Burlington and greater surrounding community.
The National Institutes of Health is working on developing the vaccine, and then it'll be sent to both UVM and Johns Hopkins University for testing. Live in the newsroom tonight, Rachel Kars, WPTZ News Channel 5.
Right now, Vermont State Police are looking for an armed robber. A man entered the Barnett Village store in Barnett just before 7:30 tonight. The 5'7" tall white man in his 20s demanded money from the clerk at knife point. He's described to be stocky with brown hair and eyes. He's got a slight beard. He made off with $400. Last seen in a vehicle going south on Route 5. If you know anything, call Vermont State Police at 802-748-3111.
A man and woman admit to knocking off a maple fields in Marshfield. Vermont State Police say they pulled over Shane Bergeron and Michaela Robinson in Montpelier on a traffic stop when the two confessed. Allegedly, Bergeron went into Maple Fields in January with a gun and demanded money from the clerk. Robinson allegedly drove the getaway car. The two, both from East Montpelier, are in jail tonight, charged with armed robbery and accessory to armed robbery.
Happening right now, the two leading 2016 Democratic presidential candidates are facing off one-on-one in a New Hampshire debate hosted by MSNBC. Tonight's debate coming just days before the state's first-in-the-nation primary. The debate slotted in this critical week between the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary comes as the candidates have been exchanging fire on who is a real progressive in the race and who is the bigger underdog. It's also the first of 4 additional Democratic debates which were added to the debate calendar just this week. Now, according to the latest NBC News Wall Street Journal Marist poll, Sanders is leading Clinton by a 20-point margin in New Hampshire, and a CNN WMUR poll shows an even bigger lead of 31 points, and that lead has grown exponentially since Iowa. Also, Sanders raised $20 million in January compared to Clinton's $15 million.
Well, Governor Peter Shumlin and former Governor Madeline Kunin traveled across the Upper Valley today, campaigning for Mrs. Clinton. WPTZ's Renee Wunderlich has more from Lebanon.
Inside Hillary Clinton's Lebanon headquarters, the governor's final stump speech of the day. Joining Governor Shumlin tonight was former Governor Madeline Kunin. Earlier in Keene, she said she knows a thing or two about running against Bernie Sanders and that she believes the first woman president in the United States would mean a big change for the country.
Now, I'm not saying you should vote for a woman just because she's a woman, but I am saying a woman president would make a difference.
Bernie has a certain favorite son status here. Vermont, New Hampshire have always been closely linked. But I'm really optimistic that New Hampshire folks will listen to the message and ask this question: who's most qualified? Who's most ready? Who can really make a difference?
This was the third and final stop for Shumlin and Kunin, speaking to campaign volunteers and residents about why Clinton is the candidate for them. They were also in Claremont earlier. All of this in the final push for the New Hampshire primary. In the Upper Valley Newsroom, Renee Wunderlich, WPTZ, News Channel 5.
Well, CNN and WMUR poll numbers for the Republicans show some movement, specifically Marco Rubio trending upwards, while Donald Trump, though, is still on top. Marco Rubio gained 7 points following a strong showing in Iowa. The next 3 in line, Ted Cruz, John Kasich, and Jeb Bush, are all lumped together, separated by a mere 3 points. Speaking of Donald Trump, he met with members of the Manchester Police Department during a shift change today. Trump spoke to about 60 officers gathered ahead of their roll call. He took time to sign some autographs and posed for pictures. During brief remarks, he thanked the officers for their service, and he told the officers that he wants to make sure they are properly recognized when he becomes president.
But the police have been so amazing in our country, and they're not really recognized the way they should be.
What's been going on? Now, Trump also had stops in Exeter and ended in Portsmouth tonight.
Today, Senator Ted Cruz put a personal spin on a problem hitting New Hampshire pretty hard: drug addiction. Cruz spoke at an addiction and recovery forum in Hooksett and participated in a roundtable discussion. He says securing the border will play a key role in ending this problem, saying it will keep out the Mexican drug cartels. And he says funding for treatment is also important. Cruz says he understands firsthand the struggles families with drug-addicted loved ones go through. His own sister was addicted for years.
And then a few years ago, Miriam died of an overdose. Joey, her son, found her in her bed. The coroner ruled it accidental. We'll never know.
Ted Cruz says while government has a role in treating addiction, one entity cannot solve this problem alone.
At a town hall in Portsmouth, Senator Marco Rubio outlined his plan for national security with a focus on rebuilding the military and protecting those aforementioned borders. Rubio also shared specifics of his plan to deal with the nation's immigration problems.
We need to finish the 700 miles of fencing and walls that we know we need. We need a mandatory E-Verify system, so if you're here illegally, you can't get hired. That hurts the American worker. And we need an entry-exit tracking system, because you may not know this, but 40% of illegal immigrants entered the country legally. Their visa expired. They stayed. We have no idea who they are. We have no idea where they are.
And Rubio ended up finishing his night off in Salem this evening.
Chris Christie, Jeb Bush, and John Kasich are campaigning hard as the primary draws closer. Kristen Carosa from our sister station WMUR has more.
New Jersey Governor Chris Christie started his day in Keene holding a town hall at the Elks Lodge, and someone was noticeably missing.
Mary Pat's doing her own thing now. She's now been to New Hampshire 52 days herself, so she now gets to do her own events.
Christie has been hitting the campaign trail hard in New Hampshire. His team knocked on 11,000 doors last weekend.
Our guys came back and told me that 50% of the people they met said they were still undecided. I love you people.
Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush also looking to grab undecided voters.
We need someone to start fixing the damn mess in Washington, D.C., and I have the skills to do it. I don't have to talk about it because I got to do it as governor of the state of Florida.
Bush held a town hall in Pittsfield where he sharply criticized Senators Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz.
The leading candidates, you know, think about it. Do they have the leadership skills? Is there something in their past that would make you sense that they could actually make a tough decision?
Ohio Governor John Kasich made a stop at Concord High School to speak with students. His main message was to dream big.
Have the big dreams. Understand you're made special. Understand that you have a mission.
He says his mission during this campaign has been to stay positive, even though he's being attacked.
I'm very proud of the way we're conducting things, win or lose.
And he says he's looking forward to the primary.
We've done everything we can possibly do. We'll be hitting 100 town halls very, very soon. And, you know, it's the voters will decide, but I feel very good about where we are.
That was Kristen Carosa reporting from WMUR. The Republican candidates meet for their final debate before the New Hampshire primary on Saturday night. Fiorina and Gilmore aren't set to be on the stage in New Hampshire this Saturday for the next Republican debate. The lineup was just released tonight, and it includes Trump, Rubio, Cruz, Kasich, Bush, and Dr. Ben Carson.
Tuesday's primary will have a new system available for visually impaired voters. One for All provides tablets and headphones for people who are blind or visually impaired. It has audio instructions on how to cast a ballot, and when the voting is done, a hard copy of the ballot is printed out to be submitted to the voting machine.
In Montpelier, the House Commerce Committee takes its first look tomorrow at a bill that would require Vermont restaurants to provide a menu in Braille. The bill's sponsor says requiring businesses to have a menu in Braille would cost very little while accommodating customers who are blind or visually impaired.
An athlete considered at the height of his sport when he suffered a traumatic brain injury.
Kevin Pierce inspiring young riders with his recovery.
The 36th Empire State Winter Games from Lake Placid. We have the torch lighting coming up.
We've got a system along the coast. It is going to affect us, and there is snow involved. First Alert weather. It's on the way here.
You're watching WPTZ News Channel 5 with Stephanie Gorin, George Mellet, and Chief Meteorologist Tom Messner.
Well, the games must go on, but warm weather has resulted in at least some changes for the Empire State Winter Games. Competition getting underway tomorrow.
But the opening ceremonies took place tonight to the famed Herb Brooks Arena in Lake Placid, hosting tonight's kickoff. Ken Drake joins us now live with more. Ken.
Hey guys, it's always a great moment for local athletes as well as competitors from all across the Empire State as they come to the Olympic Village and can almost immediately feel that magic of the Herb Brooks Arena. The festivities included BMX bike artists and messages from former Empire State Game athletes like Tim Burke and Andrew Wybrook. And then it was all the buzz after the 1,800 athletes entered the rink, half of them figure skaters alone. Finally, we got a chance to see what really gets things started, bringing the torch into the building, making its way to the cauldron, which was then lit and officially opens the 2016 Empire State Games. The events will get going first thing tomorrow with a total of 19 sports participated in this weekend. And also Sandy Caligiuri, the game's spokesman, told me the facilities will be much more fan-friendly this year, making it easy to see the state's best. Still to come tonight, some of our local athletes have signed their letters of intent. We'll tell you where they're going, while other players are going for a championship this weekend. And I announced this week's WPTZ Top Play of the Week on the Sports Desk at 11. Ken Drake, News Channel 5.
All right, Ken, thank you so much. And it's time for us to talk a little bit about the weather, and it is a lot cooler right now.
Yeah, down to about 35 degrees. We were at almost 55. We were at 54 about 24 hours ago. So, I mean, it's just...
That's a pretty big jump
That's
down.
a big difference, yeah. It's going to be cooler for a while around here, but still not as cool as you'd expect a February to be. And we don't have a lot of snow in the forecast, but maybe a little bit coming in. I'll show you who can expect that. It's 35, there you go. In Burlington, our humidity at 64%. The wind is nice and calm out there. That helps a ton when it's 35, especially when it's been 20 degrees warmer and the wind is kicking up. That's no fun. 30 degrees right now, Saranac Lake, 33 in Messina. We've got 30s up and down the Connecticut River Valley right now. Want to talk about the snowfall we've seen, or have not seen as the case may be. Take you back to November when we had less than an inch of snow that month. December, 7 inches. Last month, just a little over a foot. We have seen none so far in February. So the total so far this season, just over 20 inches. Normally, we'd be looking at about 40 inches of snow at this point. So we're about halfway to where we should be. A year ago now, we had 49 inches, I should say, of snow. So storm tracker, we've got a bunch of clouds out there, certainly cloudy periods expected, and even more clouds in a while, especially south and east of the Champlain Valley because of this system right here. A lot of rain you're seeing here, but as the colder air continues to filter through our region and into southern New England here, that is going to change to snow, that rain you're looking at there. So how much are we talking about? I mean, it's not a blockbuster, but not far from Boston, but including Boston, about 4 to 8 inches, 2 to 4 as you come to the north and off to the west. That includes a decent chunk of southern New Hampshire, maybe just clipping Vermont over by Brattleboro, more likely a dusting to maybe a couple of inches in the southern couple of counties there. All right, for tomorrow, Champlain Valley, it's going to be cloudy first thing in the morning, and then increasing sunshine, partly sunny by a little bit later in the afternoon. Okay, Futurecast, we're looking ahead. This is 1:30 in the morning, and note the snow now coming down parts of New Hampshire. Still some rain just off the coast. This stuff kind of increasing in the geography if it does come to the north. So 7 o'clock in the morning, there's the snow, southern Vermont. In southern New Hampshire, as you come to the north, it's going to be pretty light. On the flip side, down to the south, a little bit heavier. Clouds to the north, not looking at any snow, places like the Champlain Valley in the morning. Then this stuff leaves, so we end up with a mix of sun and clouds. Now, tomorrow night, a few clouds, more clouds late though, and on Saturday, I think it's going to be a mostly cloudy day for most of us. Maybe some mountain snow showers by later in the afternoon. That's about it. I think we'll find more breaks of sunshine the farther south you are on Saturday. Cloudy periods for tonight. 25 degrees, that's the low, coldest day, or night as the case may be, we've seen in a while. 31 in Burlington tomorrow, 30 degrees in Plattsburgh. Morning clouds giving way to partly sunny skies. Just a little bit of snow expected. Southern New Hampshire, 2 to 4 inches. Southern Vermont, more like a dusting to maybe a couple of inches. 31 degrees, Champlain Valley tomorrow to 19 tomorrow night. On Saturday, mostly cloudy, and I think we could find a few flurries by the afternoon, and the chance for a few flurries or snow showers Sunday morning, and then some sunshine. We go from 37 to 25 over the weekend. Afternoon clouds Monday, 26, some light snow. Certainly possible on Tuesday into Wednesday as well. We have a system out there. We're watching this for you. We're in the 30s and the chance for snow showers on Thursday and the high 27.
An effort underway to curb the North Country's expanding animal populations. That story ahead.
You're watching WPTZ News Channel 5.
Elmore SPCA is offering an incentive to pet owners in Clinton County to help control animal populations. It's called the SNP program. Applicants in Clinton County can apply to receive vouchers to spay and neuter cats or dogs. The cost of neutering a cat would be $40 with a voucher, and a dog $50. Spaying a cat a little bit more, $50, while spaying a dog would be $75. The surgeries are done at local veterinarian offices who accept the vouchers. Shelter manager Rebecca Burdo says the vouchers aren't just for people looking to spay and neuter strays.
Help the people who might not have a lot of money but love their pets, care for their pets, and are trying to do the responsible thing by spaying and neutering. So yeah, we're psyched. We're psyched.
Burdo says the shelter is giving out roughly $500 worth of vouchers per month. She says currently the program will last 4 to 5 months with the current funding, but donations are always accepted.
Tuesday's kitchen fire on Maple Street in Hartford destroyed the apartments of 4 families. Well, now the community is banding together to gather basic supplies for those who lost nearly everything. Tenants, including Brian Cardinale, a veteran who has multiple sclerosis and walks with a cane. Cardinale says he lost everything in the fire, and he's taking it day by day, focusing now on his family and his neighbors. Collections are taking place throughout the neighborhood, including nearby Praise Chapel, where they're asking donors to give prepaid cards rather than cash.
Inspiring young riders to love their brains.
Once considered at the height of his game, Kevin Pierce talks about his inspiring recovery from a traumatic brain injury. Vermont native and former Olympic hopeful Kevin Pierce was training for the 2010 Vancouver Olympics when he suffered a traumatic brain injury. Pierce spoke at Champlain College tonight about his experience. He co-founded the Love Your Brain movement with his brother Adam.
The movement is working to educate people to live a brain-healthy lifestyle.
And really talk to people about what it means to love your brain and how you can love your brain. And there's a lot of different pieces to it that people don't know, but that we all need to do. If you have a perfectly working, healthy, healed brain, or if you have an injured brain, that there are these certain steps that you can take to live a healthy, happy life.
After a long recovery, Kevin is snowboarding again and works as a sports commentator and motivational speaker. Good for him.
And that is it for WPTZ News Channel 5 at 10, but we're back at 11.
See you then.